What's up, everyone? My name is Alan, founder and consultant at For Now Marketing, and welcome back to Braze for Technical Marketers. Buckle up for some SQL and the query builder for today's video. It's true that Braze has limited capability when it comes to user-level reporting within the dashboard. Most of the tools under the analytics page provide campaign or canvas level data, but there are two places in Braze that provide user-level data, so let's check those out. So the first place that we'll look at is the segment builder. And even though it might feel a little bit weird to be using the segment builder to create a report, it's actually one of the few places in Braze where we can actually build and export user level data. So if you haven't already, navigate to audience segments. We'll create a new segment and we'll call it how to export users who opened/clicked a specific email campaign. Let's go ahead and create it. And Braze also offers a handful of different ways to filter and segment our users, especially with their new segment builder look. So this will be helpful, especially for this use case. So here we have the segment builder, and we haven't added any filters yet. The very first filter we're going to add, we're going to search for is, let's search for open, and you'll see clicked/opened campaign. It's pretty much exactly what we need. So go ahead and click on that. We are going to choose the interaction, which is going to be clicked email. So we'll set up clicked first and then opened. And then lastly, you can choose the desired email campaign. So it's has clicked email from whichever campaign that you are hoping to pull a report from. And by the way, we are operating fully on the new segment builder, which does offer a bit more capability. So if you haven't already adjusted to this new UI, now might be your chance. So moving on to our next filter, if you're also interested in users who open the email, we'll just add the exact same filter again. So we're going to click search filter. We'll look for opened again, but this time we're going to choose our different interaction this time. And then we're going to choose opened email filter. And notice there are three different opened emails. So with the new Apple's policy, they've added machine opens and other opens. Some more details on these videos maybe in a future video. For now, we'll go ahead and choose open email. And then the idea is that you choose the same campaign for both filters. So now we have has clicked email from campaign X or has opened email from campaign X. And notice that I did emphasize or. We definitely want to make sure that we're choosing or logic in between the filters. So that way you're looking for users who either clicked or opened the campaign. Um, that way, for that use case, you would want to choose or. If you are in fact looking for users who both clicked and opened an email, then you can switch that or drop down to and. However, if a user were to click on an email, then they would have had to have opened the email. So at that point, we would just recommend choosing clicked email. At this point, you simply click save, and then you scroll all the way to the top, click user data, CSV export user data, and you will get emailed a CSV list of users who qualify both these filters shortly. And the only reason I haven't chosen a specific campaign in this example is that the campaigns in my dashboard just don't have enough data to render a meaningful export. But for your use case, you would choose the campaign that you want to export from. Now, the second way to export a list of users who clicked or opened an email is through the query builder, which lives under Analytics Query Builder. And here's all the other reports that I mentioned in the beginning of the video, which all have cool reporting capabilities, just not at the user level, except the query builder, which we're going to check out now. For some quick history, when Braze finally launched the query builder and gave us, the technical marketers, access to its Snowflake tables, this unlocked a ton of new capabilities for Braze users within the dashboard without having to set up an external data pipeline using Currents or Snowflake. So we are going to navigate to Analytics, Query Builder, Create SQL Query, SQL Editor. And before we write our query, let's take a look at all our different data tables. So the two tables we're interested in are email clicks and email opens. And there are a lot of tables, but we'll just look at those two specifically. So if we search for click in the search bar, you'll find the table called user messages email clicked shared. Click shared. This is a table that collects all instances of any clicks on any email performed by any user gathered at the user level. So you'll see user ID, external user ID, and here are all the available additional columns or additional data for that click. And all that individual rows gets gathered in this Snowflake table. And that's the table we're going to be using to export a list of users who clicked on a specific campaign. Similarly, if you search for open, you'll find a table called email open shared, which has very similar columns. And that's also all instances of any time when a user opens their email. So now let's get into writing our SQL. And thanks to the AI query builder, your SQL skills don't have to be amazing or perfect for you to start writing queries, but you always need a foundational understanding of how SQL works to confirm the query that the AI feature wrote for us. So let's try writing this query using the AI builder. So we're going to click AI query builder. And for our prompt, we'll keep it simple. Let's insert this. All clicks or opens of a specific email campaign. Click generate, and Braze will take a second to write out the SQL query that will give us exactly uh, the, the report that we want. So this is what Braze spat out for us. Let's take a quick look. So it looks like Braze is grabbing a bunch of different columns. Although they're not all necessary, these are going to be helpful. Starting from the clicks table that we looked at. So this is the first table that we looked at. Braze is grabbing all clicks for that table. It's also giving us some instructions. So there's a dummy value, your specific campaign ID, and it's telling us to replace with your specific campaign ID. So we find the specific campaign that we're interested in, plug in the ID here, and it'll return all those columns. And then we're applying union all. And a quick Google search for what is union all in SQL tells us that the union all operator is used to combine the results of two or more select statements into a single result set. So because we're interested in all rows from the clicks table as well as the rows from the open table, that's why the query builder gave us the union all feature. So first we found all the rows from the clicks table, then we found all the rows from the opens table, and then we're using union all to combine the results from both select statements. And then same exact instructions on the bottom, so your specific campaign ID. So this looks good to me. I'm happy with this. I'm going to use this. So I'm going to insert into editor, and then to find the campaign ID, find the campaign that you want, scroll all the way to the bottom, and you can find the campaign API ID right here. Obviously, we've used a dummy value to not expose some of these sensitive IDs. Copy that ID to the query builder and then replace it in the two places where the query told us to, in between the quotes. So it replaces that and replaces that. And then once again, our dashboard just does not have the data to reflect a meaningful export or meaningful query. So that's why we're not using real API IDs. But for your example, if you actually grab your campaign ID, hopefully you see some awesome results with clicks and opens from that specific campaign, that specific email campaign. Thank you for watching and see you next time.